and thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Women of Color and Confidence. I am your host, Amber Rose West. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the 3 authenticity superpowers that you must supercharge as a business leader. In terms of business leader, today I'm going to be talking to those of you who are business owners, solopreneurs, and entrepreneurs. Why is it so important as a business leader to be yourself and to show up with authenticity? Well, you decided to create your product because it has a purpose. You created your business because you have a passion, likely a passion of helping people. Business ownership has become so widely available and accessible to different people in different industries, which is awesome. But it also comes with all the different parts of business ownership that you may not have been acquainted with before you started your business. So accounting, bookkeeping, delivering your services, sales, and marketing. Marketing has taken on new forms with social media. And if you're using social media, you can find yourself in a sea of other people who may be doing something very similar to you. Does that mean that you shouldn't do it? Does that mean that you should shut your business down? No, absolutely not. It does mean, however, that you got to do it in a way that 1, feels good to you, and 2, sets you apart from other people. What helps you do that? Your authenticity. Why is it that you try on what other people are doing, but it doesn't work for you? It's like trying on another person's clothes, and those clothes are not the right size for your body. Have you ever put on clothes that are too big and they're hanging off me? Or you put on clothes that are too small and you're like, this is really tight and I can't breathe and I'm uncomfortable. It's important to find clothes that fit you properly, right? Well, it's also important for you to find the style of promoting your products that fits for you and your business. Remember, your voice is important. It's one of your superpowers. Being authentically yourself is essential because no one is you. And I know that you've already heard that quote. You are your superpower. Nobody else can be you. And that's why it is a superpower. So sometimes we get caught up in what other people are doing and how they're doing it because we want the success that they have. And we see them having that success because they're sharing with all of us on social media that they're getting that success. People don't brag about what it is that they're achieving or the goals that they're hitting or the money that they're making because they're trying to rub it in our faces. They're trying to show us what is possible for us, that they have finally achieved the success outcome that they were working towards and that we can achieve that success too. So you don't need to copy and paste what other people are doing. You don't need to copy and paste their personality or their lifestyle onto you and your business. You just need to get clear on a few things for yourself so that you attract people who are ready to work with you. How do you do that? I'm going to share with you 3 authenticity superpowers that you must supercharge in order to be an effective business leader and to grow your business to the success that you are wanting it to see. So the first one here is values. We have your personal values, your business values, and your community values. So I'm going to give you an example of my values, and then we're going to talk about your values. My personal values are self-confidence, obviously. If you followed me for any amount of time, you know that that's my number 1 value. I also, as a personal value, have integrity, self-respect, and authenticity. It is no wonder that I talk about authenticity as much as I do, especially inside of this business owner space, because I'm a business owner. I have multiple small businesses, and I've also seen the impact that my authenticity as the owner and as the person that delivers these services has brought to my business. Next, my business values are discovery, process, connection, and application. Now, for my coaching services and my public speaking services, I believe that it is very important to spend time in discovery with my clients. Now, there's so many different reasons why people do not feel the self-confidence that they feel. There's so many reasons why people have a hard time being a public speaker or sharing their message. And in the discovery process, I find that people unlock and discover a lot of things about themselves that maybe they've been trying to shove into corners they don't want to admit. And it's one of the first things that we have to really take a look at before we start working on self-confidence or confidently public speaking. Next in the process, I believe that everybody, when they're going into a service, should go through a process in that service. And one of the reasons it's one of my values is because as a business owner, I believe that everybody deserves to go through the process of the services that I offer, rather than just being thrown into whatever it is that I think that they want to buy, right? I like to think of it in terms of an education like school. I don't want someone to walk into my business and then be put into my biggest mastermind that I have that's equivalent to a PhD program when they haven't even gone through like the elementary school and the middle school and the high school of the curriculum that I teach, right? So I really value the process of my business because I know that when my clients go through that process, they get the best outcome for the time and energy and attention that they're going to spend working with me. And next is connection. I want people to know that they can be vulnerable in a space where they're going to learn a lot about themselves with their self-confidence. I want them to know that they have the opportunity to discover things about themselves in a place where they feel connected to myself, but also to themselves while they're learning all the things that they get to learn about self-confidence and public speaking. And then application is a huge value in my business because I don't want anybody to come in to one of my programs or my workshops or my classes and feel like they can't take the information that they received and somehow apply it to their life. Application is key for me. Every one of my pieces of curriculum has a purpose, and that purpose should be easily applied by my clients once it is that they leave working with me. And then I have my community values, which are culture, perspective, inclusion, and integration. Now, culture is very important to my community values because I believe that the more cultures that we have within a group of people, the more powerful we are. We get to learn from other people. We get to see how it is that people have lived and grown. And I think that there's so much value in the diversity of culture within my community. And second is perspective, being able to look through the lens of someone else's perspective with one of my personal values, which is respect, mutual respect in terms of community. I think is really important because it allows for more compassion, altruism, our ability to treat each other with kindness and respect and support while we're in this community together. And then inclusion, I want people to feel included in my community, no matter what their cultures or backgrounds are. And then integration. It's one thing to know about culture and perspective. It's one thing to be able to say, I was taught this and I get it and it's around. It's another thing to actively integrate it into the way that I spend my time in my community. Okay, so these are my main values for my personal life, my professional life, and then my community. Now, you may be listening to these and looking at these, and you probably could agree that these are some solid values, right? Like, these are some good values. But are they your values? We may share them in some capacity, but can you honestly say that when you heard that list, that they described you and your values? Or your business and what you want your business values to be, or the impact that you want to make on the world, okay? The list of values is very vast, but I want to list off a couple here, and I want you to think about what they make you feel like and, the difference between this list and the list that I rattled off, which you may have heard those values, and if you've been following me a while or you know me personally, you might be like, yes, all of those are definitely part of Amber's values, right? But what about values like loyalty, spirituality, compassion, kindness, generosity, courage, tolerance, altruism, gratitude, self-reliance, excellence, teamwork, freedom, passion, safety, sustainability? Right? Values can go on and on and on. And some of them you'll use in your personal life, but not your business life. Some of them you use in your business life, but not your community life, right? There's so many different kinds of values. So now you get to figure out what are yours. When you sit down and you think about your personal life and your personality and your relationships, what types of values come to mind? When you sit down to think about your business offers or what it is that your business does, what kind of values come to mind there? When you sit down and you think about your overall impact on the world and the way that you want to be amongst your community members, what kind of values come to mind? What are the values that best describe who you are and what it is that you want to do? Knowing this is a superpower, because then you can begin to set yourself apart, and then people know how it is that they can build relationship with you. Why it is that they want to be your friend. Why it is that they want to be in a relationship with you or start a family with you. Why do they want to work with you and buy your products? People choose to spend their dollars with you when they know these things because they know what you're up to. They know what you're about, right? They know what your global and community impact is. These things make a difference to consumers. So once you get clear on these things, you can begin merging those messages of value into your business and your marketing, and that will help you align with people who are perfect clients for you. So the second superpower here that you must supercharge as a business leader is your ability to own it. I'm going to explain. Own it. We're not playing small anymore. We're not beating around bushes. People want clear. They want to be able to look at you and experience you and say, like, I get a general idea of what kind of person this is and what kind of business they're running, okay? People want conviction. They want to see you owning it. They want to see that you care about what it is that you're doing and why it is that you can help them. So breaking up the differences of owning it here. Yes, you're a business owner and I want you to own it. You do own it. As a business owner, you own your business. But I want you to own the fact that you're a business owner, right? So first here, you have to own who you are. You got to own who you are. You're a person that started a business for a reason, right? Owning who you are requires that you get real with who you are. It's one of the reasons why self-confidence and authenticity is a big part of what I teach, because a lot of people are masking who they really are and they're having trouble finding business success because they're spending a lot of time faking it until they're making it, right? I want to help you go the other way. I want you to figure out who you are and come from that authentic place so that your real people can find you, right? Knowing yourself, being yourself, allowing that uniqueness to shine through sometimes is the only reason that someone buys from you. It's because they like who you are. They like how you're showing up. They like how it is you're selling whatever it is that you sell. They like hearing about why it is that you created it. Sometimes people choose to buy from you very specifically because it's you. And that's an important piece of being a business leader. Now, owning your business is not just about the paperwork that you file with the state, okay? Own your business. Be proud of the work that you do. Be proud of how you help people. If you're too shy to explain to somebody else how it is that you solve the problem that they have, they're going to be like, you're not even sure. Why am I going to work with you? I'm going to go find someone who's like, hey, over here, I got exactly what you need and I'm the best person for it, right? If you show up and you're like, it's okay. I worked really hard on it and I made it. And yeah, I have this business, but it's all right, I guess. If you talk to yourself or if you talk to other people the way that your inner critic talks to you, it's okay, I guess. Do you think that person's going to be like, here's $1,000, I want to work with you? No. They're going to go to the person that's like, I heard you have this problem. Okay, so this is what I created to solve that kind of problem. And, it's the best. Do you want to try it? Obviously, someone's going to go over there to work with that person, right? People want to hear confidence. They want to hear you confidently talk about your products. So I want you to practice confidently describing who you are, what your business is, why you created it, and how it is that you help people with your products. I want you to say it a lot, all the time. I want you to practice it. And I want you to also practice making your business the first suggestion that you give to someone when they're like, hey, I have this thing, I've been looking for this person. Instead of recommending the 2 or 3 people that are in your industry, how about you? How is it that you can help them? If they're looking for that help, show them how you do it. Be confident, be proud, own it. How can other people believe in the power of your product and your business if you are still struggling to do that? Stop the struggle, practice it, and start owning it for yourself. And this is one of those things that I feel like we've really learned when it comes from reviews, that people do want the best. And companies, bigger companies, are starting to figure out that they need to brag a little bit, right? I was listening to this comedian who was talking about how he now has a struggle around buying toothbrushes. Like, he's standing in the toothbrush aisle and he's like, never had a problem picking a toothbrush before, but now with all of the reviews about toothbrushes, well, I'm gonna get the best one. Let me pull up all these reviews and scroll for an hour to figure out which is the best toothbrush, right? I'm only gonna use this toothbrush for 3 months, but for some reason I need the best one. That's how consumers think now. And you're probably giggling to yourself being like, I've done this. Maybe not with toothbrushes, but you definitely looked for something and was like, I want to find the best one, right? So we as business owners, and especially my women out there who are business owners, we were not taught how to put ourselves and our business first, right? We've always been taught to it's okay to not take the compliment. Don't be too braggadocious. Don't talk about yourself too much. Hey, Target talks about themselves every single day. Starbucks is lit every single day. Air Jordans are on somebody's tongue every single day, right? People talk about their businesses all the time, but for some reason, because we are entrepreneurs, individual business owners, we're not supposed to do the same. It's okay for you to do it. And in fact, the more you do it, the more easily your people can find you. You just want to make sure that you're owning what it is that your business does and why it is that it's the best, because that's what people are out here looking for. And last, I want you to own the transformations. Now, there's the transformations that you have, and then there's the transformations that the people who use your products have. So starting with you, I'm going to make the assumption that you saw a need and then you decided to fill it, right? And you started your business with this change in mind, right? There's a hole that needs to be filled. I know what it is. I can do it. Even if that hole for yourself was I know how to do this thing and I can help other people do it. And I bet at some point you helped someone and they were like, hey, did you know that this could be a business? And you were like, it can? Sweet, right? So there was a need, there was a hole, you filled it. And whatever that transformation is for you, it was there. Because there is very naturally a transformation for somebody who starts their own business. I know it because I've done it. And it doesn't matter what that transformation was. The fact that there was one is really important, that you get to talk about your growth and that you get to talk to other people how it is that you took your product or service and turned it into something that helped you. And now you're turning it around to other people who are looking around trying to find a solution to something, right? I was there, I figured it out, then I made this business, now I'm here. And people want to see that. People want to see the process of a product growth. They want to see the process of the growth of the person that created it, because then they can see that they can make that transformation too, which now leads me into the transformation that your business offers, right? Take ownership of the fact that your product gives people solutions and what those solutions are. You're helping people, you're doing something, you're helping to make change, you're a part of the evolution, and it's awesome. People sometimes skip over this part, but it doesn't need to be, they skip over it because they don't want to be putting other people down, right? My service is better than all the other services, right? But you can do this in a way that doesn't put other services down. You can just say, I show up differently. I do this thing. And because I show up differently, I get these other results that maybe you wouldn't be able to get from someone that doesn't do it this way, right? So owning the transformations is really important because people want to see you and see you doing it and then see themselves in doing it also. And you as a business leader has to show them that. And you show it by owning that. Okay, so here we've talked about the 2 superpowers so far, your values, right? Learning how to own it, that's owning who you are, owning your business, and owning how it is that you help people, those transformations. And then the third authenticity power here is your vibe. That's right, who you are as a person and how it is that you put the energy into it, right? Be a vibe. Be your own vibe. A lot of people think, especially because I am who I am and my company is Vibrant Confidence and I have vibrant all over the place, that when I mean be a vibe, I mean be colorful and loud and, all of the things that I am, extroverted and such, right? In actuality, a vibe is just a vibration. It's an energy. It's who you are and the energy that you exchange as a person with the world and everybody out here, right? So yes, my vibe is vibrant. And part of the reason I started owning my vibrant vibe is because I actually went to people that I know, my family, my friends, people I worked with, and I say, how would you describe my vibe, right? And almost all of them did something like this. You just have this, right? They had this thing going out, like these rays of energy. And I was like, what is that? And vibrant came up a lot. And so I just said, I think that my general vibe is vibrant, right? I have a vibey energy. I constantly have colors on. I got the glitters. I can sit down with people and I can vibe with them. Vibrant was the word that kept coming up. And so I owned that as part of my vibe. And it is very true to who I am and what I do, right? But vibes can be whatever it is that your vibe is. So if you're introverted and you're quiet and you tend to do something that's maybe a little bit more hands-on and tactical compared to out here and speaking, that's great. That's your vibe, right? And guess what? There are people out here who want that vibe. There are people out here who do not like vibrant. They don't like the loud, extroverted energy that comes out of me, right? They're like, that's a lot. That's a bit much, right? And they're looking for a different kind of vibe to connect from. And that's totally cool. Totally fine. You know what makes it so awesome is that there are people looking for all kinds of vibes. So your vibe is being sought after. We don't want you hiding it or faking it because you're attracting the wrong people into your company, right? The power of authenticity as an entrepreneur is that you get to be different. It's awesome. It's okay. And that you can still grow your business to be as successful as you want it to be. How does your vibe play into your business success? So the truth here is that there are probably people out here that are doing what you do, offer what you offer, and solve the same problems that you solve. So yes, people like to buy what's in the box, right? All the tools and accessories and all that stuff in the box. But more importantly is that people buy from the person holding the box. So one of the examples that I have from my own personal life, and I remember it's such a perfect example to this, and I remember how much it impacted me because I was so disappointed and I felt a little bit cheated. I was not happy with the service that I was offered at all, but I spent multiple thousands of dollars on a coaching program from a particular person, and I bought it from this particular person because I was like, she is a vibe. I'm so excited to work with her. I'm excited to learn from her. I can't wait. I was pumped up because I was like, I get to work with this person. I'm spending multiple thousands of dollars and I finally get to work with this person. This is gonna be awesome. And then I didn't spend one single coaching session with her in the 6 months that I was in her program. She didn't look at any of my materials. You know, we had group calls where I got a little bit of feedback from her, but never once had a call with her, didn't see anything, nothing, not with her at all. And the people that she had hired inside of her container had a completely different vibe from her. And so I was like, this isn't the vibe that I bought, you know? Me, Amber Rose, I'm a big vibe, right? I'm a big vibe. And I purposely spend money to work with people who can match my vibe, or at least understand my vibe. And I feel like everybody that I was working with inside this container was definitely not online with my vibe. And I was too much for them sometimes. And I could tell that I would overwhelm them with my vibe. And I was like, but I know the person that sold me the program, she and I would have been on a different vibe together because our vibes were similar, right? So then me as a consumer, I was like, I don't know what to do now, because I bought something but wasn't given what I was bought, and the vibe in itself is a big factor in this. And so I want you to be mindful of the fact that people not only buy from you because you can give them the solution to the problem that they have, but they're also very likely buying from you because they want to buy from you. One of my favorite examples of this, it's a little bit more tangible, is books. Everybody is going to get this. You know, you don't have to be a business owner to understand books. You may be to have to understand a coaching program, but you don't for books, right? Okay, so let's take for example that you write books. You are an author, you write books, and you make money selling books. Okay, so, you know, selling books is a business of sorts, but, you know, stay with me through the example. I want you to think about a store that's full of books on the shelf. You know, and we've all been in bookstores. They line the outside and then they make shelves that go in the middle, and then you can walk around this maze of bookshelves that has books everywhere, right? I want you to think about all of the books that have been written already. And then all of the books that are being written right now. And then there's still books that are going to be written in the future. We still have a lot of books that are going to be written and read. What's the logic behind you writing your books and selling them to readers? Well, first off here, just because there have already been books that have been written, and maybe even ones that are in the exact same topic that you want to write about, should that stop you or anybody else from writing and selling books? No. I'm a confidence coach. I'm a public speaking coach. Do you think that I have one book on each topic on my shelf? No, I have dozens of books on each of those topics on my shelves, and I'm super excited to read them all. Why? They were all written by different authors that have different perspectives with different writing styles. So the lesson here is that even if someone has already done it before, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. If you want to help solve someone's problems with your product, do it. If you have a passion, follow it. There are 8 billion people on the planet. There are plenty of people who want to hear what you have to say and learn how it is that you solve their problem with your voice, your style, and very likely your vibe. On this same line of thinking with the books, does that mean that I read every book about confidence and public speaking? No. And there's a couple different reasons why I choose not to read different books or different authors, but mostly one of the top reasons is I just don't vibe with the author and their writing. I will read the inside cover, I will read the back, I'll read a couple of the pages, and if I'm not feeling like this is an author that I can stick with for 300 pages, I'm not buying that book. I'll find someone else who talks about the same thing and does it in a different vibe. And so now imagine if there was only one author, and that one author was only allowed to write one book on one topic, and then the reader didn't vibe with them. There would be a lot of people out here that were missing out, right? This is why it's important to be you and to do what you love in a way that you like it, that aligns with your vibe and like who you are authentically. People can be turned off by certain things, and there may be someone out here looking for you. In fact, I know there is somebody out here looking for you with your product, with your business, who does it the way that you who does it the ways that you does it, who does it the way that you do it with the vibe that you do it with. So vibes in general, I just want to talk about how people are looking for connection and belonging. In general, they're looking for a connection and belonging. And you may not think that that matters in your business, but it does, especially for those of us who are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and leading our own businesses. So in terms of services, yes, people want to know that they can get the services that they're paying for and that those services can help them do whatever it is that they need to do. But also, they want to know that you're the person that can help them. Because again, it's very likely that there are other people out there that offer those services, but they want to know that you're the person that can help them, and that's why they're going to work with you. They want to know how you're going to treat them, and that how you're going to treat them is the way that they want to be treated, that they're going to feel good about showing up and using your services. They want to know that they can click with it, that they have that belonging with your services and how it is that you serve them, that you're going to listen to them. They're going to listen to what they need and then learn how to apply your services to their particular needs. Show them that you are that kind of service provider. They're looking to have connection and belonging with that service that you're providing them. So show them how it is that you do it. And with products, yes, people want what's in the box, and to make sure that what they're getting is the product that they paid for and that it works well. Whatever it is that you promised in your marketing, that's okay, product has all of that and does all of that, right? But also, there are millions and billions and trillions of products that do what you do and offer the solution that you offer, right? There's 1 million books in the world. I mean, there's probably more than 1 million books in the world. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but 1 million books, 1 million different kind of toothbrushes, 1 million sweaters, candles, lamps, phones, computers, glasses, bookshelves. The list goes on and on and on, right? Products are endless. Why do people buy the products that they buy, right? And you're not a big corporation, right? So you're not doing these huge field studies of marketing, right? You're on social media, you're selling your stuff on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, right? Why is it that people should buy from you and not the next profile over? People usually make their buying decisions based on, yes, what's in the box, but mostly the person that's selling it to them, right? It's your style. It's your vibe. It's the way that you write. It's the way that you talk. It's a way that they can look at your product and go, I can vibe with that. And I want to spend my money here with this business and with that person, right? So if you're creating those styles, those vibes, that uniqueness, that authenticity inside your business, and your business and products reflect that, the people that are excited to work with you, excited to use your products, and excited to be there and have that sense of connection and belonging inside of your business, they're going to be more attracted to you because you're authentically, thank you. You're authentically showing up as that person with those things that they are vibing with. Remember, there are plenty of books in any bookstore. People choose the ones that are right for them. So you and your business become magnetized to people who need you when you superpower these 3 authenticity superpowers. Supercharge your 3 authenticity superpowers. Getting clear on all your values, owning who you are, what you do, and what you create, and how those things help the people that need you. And then creating your own vibe that's different from other people who may also be creating what you create and doing what you do. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's episode of Women of Color and Confidence. Me and all my tongue-tidiness. It happens to the best of us sometimes. It's been like this all day. So thank you so much for hanging out with me and for listening to this week's episode of Women of Color and Confidence. I will be back with you in 2 weeks with a brand new episode, and I'll see you then.